3:47 a.m. The text arrives when Dr. Catherine Martinez is staring at her ceiling, unable to sleep. I can't sleep. Everything feels broken. It's from Alex, her son who hasn't texted her in she can't remember how long. Her fingers hover over the keyboard. Every instinct screams solutions, advice, maternal fixes. Instead she types, "Can I come sit with you?" 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Okay. You know that hallway, don't you? The one between where you are and where someone you love is waiting. Each step carrying the weight of everything unsaid, everything broken, everything you've tried to fix and failed. In the beginning was the Word. But before the Word, there was movement. God walking toward humanity, not sending messages from heaven, not thundering from mountains, walking, approaching, coming close. The Incarnation wasn't just a theological event, it was a conversation style. Alex's room smells like teenage anxiety and unwashed laundry. He's sitting on his bed, knees drawn up, staring at something in his hands. Catherine sits on the edge of his bed. Not too close, not too far. They don't speak. Silence has its own grammar, its own syntax. In the space between words, hearts can finally stop performing and start breathing. Alex, Catherine says, and her voice carries something it hasn't carried in months. Not concern, not correction, curiosity. How are you? Really? What happens next will save his life. Not because she has the right words, not because she finally understands teenage depression, not because she quotes the perfect Bible verse, because she chooses incarnation over information. When Jesus met the woman at the well, he didn't begin with answers. He began with thirst, his own thirst. Give me a drink. Vulnerability before revelation, need before knowledge, the Word making himself dependent on human kindness before offering divine truth. This is the scandal of incarnation. God doesn't solve humanity from a distance. He moves in, takes up residence, learns the language not just of human words, but human wounds. "I'm not fine, Mom," Alex whispers in the lamplight. "I haven't been fine for a long time." Beneath his academic struggles, terror of disappointing her, beneath his social withdrawal, fear that he's fundamentally unacceptable. Beneath his silence, questions about life and death that feel too big for 17-year-old shoulders. "I feel like I'm drowning," he says, "and everyone keeps telling me to swim harder. But what if I just want someone to sit on the shore with me?" The shore. Jesus cooked breakfast on the shore. After the resurrection, after the miracle, after everything was supposedly fixed, he cooked fish for his friends who had spent the night catching nothing. No sermon, no solution, no spiritual lesson about their failed fishing trip. Just presence, just breakfast, just the incarnate God saying, "I'm here. Are you hungry?" The mystery of incarnation isn't that God became human to explain humanity to itself. It's that God became human to be with humanity in its confusion, in its failure, in its 3:47 a.m. text messages when everything feels broken. 3 months later, Alex writes his mother a letter. Not a suicide note this time, a thank you note. That night, you came to my room. You gave me something I didn't know I needed. You saw me. And for the first time in years, I felt like I existed. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Not visited, not consulted, not prescribed solutions from heaven. Dwelt, pitched tent, made camp, stayed. In every hospital room where a doctor sits with a family receiving devastating news. In every marriage where someone finally stops defending and starts listening. In every friendship where presence matters more than advice. In every moment when love chooses proximity over safety. The Incarnation continues. Tonight, someone you love is carrying something too heavy for one person to bear. The question isn't whether you have the right words. The question is whether you're willing to learn their language. Not the language of their lips, but the language of their heart. The dialect of their particular pain. The grammar of their specific hope. God didn't learn Hebrew to speak to humanity. He learned humanity. Walk toward them, sit with them, ask how they are. Really? And then, this is the hard part. Listen like God listens. With your whole body, your whole attention, your whole willingness to be changed by what you hear. Because something is trying to be born in that space between you. Something that looks like incarnation. Something that sounds like love, learning how to speak a new language. The language of the heart.